Today, we're going to be taking a look at a Canadian brand with a watch. Actually, two watches with a unique feature specifically for first responders. The watch is the Medic by Shelby Watch Co. I had the opportunity to meet the owner and check out the watches for the first time in person recently at the Toronto Timepiece Show. The owner, Matt, agreed to let me take the watches for a little test drive. So, big thanks to him for that. So, let's get to it and take a look at the watches. All right, now, bit of a background on the owner. He is a paramedic and also a watch enthusiast. He wanted to create something that could be used by first responders and put together these watches that have an asthmometer and a pulsometer scale on the bezel. The watches are assembled by Matt, and the movement, which, by the way, this has a movement that's a first for me, but he also regulates the movements himself. One of these actually spent a few months in Antarctica on the wrist of a firefighter slash EMT. And quoting Ethan Rudzinski that wore the watch, Shelby Watch Co. made a fantastic watch and it worked beautifully throughout my entire deployment. I did get to utilize the pulsometer with real patients and it was very accurate and easy to use. How cool is that? The watch is available in two versions, the Medic, which is the fully loomed Pepsi model, and the stealthier Tactical Medic. As far as the dials go, and we'll start with the fully loomed version, but the dials are pretty straightforward and show the time in 12 and 24 hours with the markers for 24 hours just inside the larger markers like you see on a lot of field watches. Up top is the logo and Shelby Medic printed below that. Down at the bottom of the dial is printed pulsometer and asthmometer, which are the two scales on the bezel and really what makes the watch unique. And under that is the maple leaf. The black version is more stealthy and a lot less colorful, with the only color being on the second hand. The hands are a syringe style handset, which, hey, the watch is called the Medic, so makes sense, but they and the markers as well as the bezel are loomed, and they did not skimp on the loom here at all. Even the date is loomed. The fully loomed dial takes it up to a whole other level. These watches are both torches. Loomed date wheel on this version too, and totally readable. It's not just a gimmick, so A+ on the loom for both watches. The bezels use a ceramic insert, Pepsi on this on the right, and a gray and black combination on the Tactical. They are bidirectional bezels. Nice action. And to use the pulsometer and asthmometer, I actually got a good clip at the Toronto show of Matt explaining how to use it. So I'll put that in here now. Here with Shelby Watch Co., Canadian brand. And he's going to show us how his watch works here.
All right, so we've got two scales on it. There's a pulsometer in red and an asthmometer in blue. It's a bidirectional bezel. So basically what you do is you go and you find your second hand. Once it hits the red line, count 15 pulses. Wherever it stops on 15, that's your heart rate.
Okay.
Do the same thing for respiratory rate. You count 5 respirations, just says here 5 resps. Once you're done at 5, that's your respiratory rate.
Very cool. And you're a paramedic for a living.
I am paramedic for a living, yeah.
There you go. Pretty straightforward. Thanks for that, Matt. The case on the watch is completely brushed, nice finish work, and has drilled lugs for strap changes. The screw-down case back has a movement on display I've never experienced. It's essentially an ETA 2824 clone, but assembled in the US by Maryland Watchworks. Matt regulates the movements to plus or minus 10 seconds per day, although he tells me he shoots for +2 to -5, and he sends out a report on the watch as well when you buy one. The bracelet is an H-link bracelet, same as the case. It's fully brushed. We've got female end links, so it's got that straight drape down there. It is sized with screws, good quality signed clasp, and also has an on-the-fly adjustment system. Size on the watch comes in at a case width of right at 39 millimeters. The lug-to-lug is 47.1 millimeters. Lug opening is 20 millimeters and the thickness is 12 millimeters. The crystal is an AR treated sapphire, and the water resistance is 150 meters. And here it is on my 7.25 inch wrist, and love what Shelby is doing. Pretty cool that Matt, being a paramedic, put a watch like this together. Good guy, and he actually lives not all that far from me. Price for these is 975 Canadian dollars, so right around 695 US. Link to where you can find them will be below. Appreciate you taking a few minutes to stop by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye bye.